What is up, Bucs Nation? A beautiful, beautiful 38-3 dominant win by our Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Kind of gaining revenge for what happened last year on that Thursday night football game in Chicago. But before I get into my reaction and some stats from this game, I am Ramy B. If you are new here, make sure you click the subscribe button down below. I post weekly Buccaneer videos, and let's get into this one. So, our Tampa Bay Buccaneers had 408 yards of total offense, which included 226 yards passing and 182 yards rushing. This was our highest rushing output of the season. A lot of people were eating. All our running backs were able to get yards. Very, very good performance on that end. The Bears, however, had 311 total yards of offense with 168 passing and 143 rushing, which I believe the 143 rushing is our worst rushing defense of the season. I don't know what happened. It was like holes, like Swiss cheese. The running back was running right through us, and they also had 5 turnovers overall. I do want to give a special shout out to our offensive line because they were the ones that really kept Brady upright. I think out of his 36 dropbacks, he only had 2 quarterback hits, and I think he had 0 hurries. Or I know he had 0 sacks for sure, but a very, very dominant performance. And Tristan Wirfs got his revenge on Khalil Mack. Last year's only sack given up in the regular season, I think, and playoffs too, was to Khalil Mack. So definitely dominating on that end. But let's go into the individual stats. So Tom Brady was 20 of 36 for 211 yards and 4 touchdowns. Really, really had opportunities to get 5 and 6. We had that goal line stop, and we also had a second goal line. We weren't really on the goal line. We were at like the 2 or 3 yard line, I believe, and then Fournette got hit behind the line, and then we couldn't convert there. Really, really wanted to see Tom get his 5th touchdown because that would have been 3 consecutive 5 touchdown games at home. And I think this was a game that we should have been able to put up 50. Like, we dominated 38-3, but it was a little frustrating because of those opportunities that we had a missed field goal, and then those 2 goal line opportunities that could have been another 14 points. Blaine Gabbert came in for at the end of the 4th, 2 for 3 for 15 yards, nothing special there. Obviously, the game was already wrapped up then. Leonard Fournette had 15 rushes for 81 yards and a touchdown. Rojo 10 for 63. Keyshawn Vaughn came in when the backups came in, 5 for 27, and Darden had a sweep, I believe it was, 1 for 11 on that end. So like I said, a very dominant rushing performance as well. Receiving end, Godwin was our leading receiver, 8 catches, 111 yards, and 1 touchdown. Very close to that second one in the 4th quarter. He caught that 30-some yard pass and really went down, I think, at the 1 or 2. Evans, 6 for 76 with 3 touchdowns. Again, I don't know how you can say that Evans isn't a future Hall of Famer. He had that beautiful deep ball down the left sideline where it kind of went through his arms, but he still got it. And then his first, I think it was his first touchdown, was that beautiful, beautiful fade route that he didn't even see coming. He kind of turned around and the ball was already there, and somehow he caught it. I don't know how, like I said, I don't know how anyone can say he's not a future Hall of Fame receiver because he's dominating like that. Now he's had 3 home games with 2 touchdowns, 3 consecutive home games with 2 touchdowns, so definitely great performance there. Tyler Johnson, 2 for 16, OJ 1 for 9, Fournette 2 for 9, and Bernard 2 for 5. So outside of Evans and Godwin, nobody else really contributed that much. And I know there was a couple attempts to Brate in the end zone that were broken up or dropped. But with AB out and Scooter Miller's on IR, Scotty Miller, but Scooter, got his nickname mixed up there. And then Gronk out. We really didn't have as many other playmakers, but good thing we do have 2 solid number 1 receivers in Godwin and Evans, so that played out well. On the defensive end, Justin Fields was 22 of 32 for 184, 3 picks and 3 fumbles, with 2 of those fumbles being lost. That, I don't want to be hard on him because I thought he was one of the better quarterbacks coming out, but I don't know if it's him or Chicago's just not good with quarterbacks. But a horrible performance there. He didn't know what he was doing, couldn't read the defense, had no pocket awareness as well. The running game, though, was very successful. Khalil Herbert, 18 rushes for 100 yards, so just broke that 100-yard mark, and I don't think we had a 100-yard rusher since last year against Minnesota. What's his name? The dude from FSU. For some reason, my mind is blanking. Davin. No, not Davin. It'll come to my mind. Other than that, Fields had 8 rushes for 38 and Damian Williams 3 for 5. Receiving end, they have a dude named Cole Kmet, 5 for 43. Darnell Mooney 2 for 39. That running back Herbert 5 for 33, and then nobody else had over 20 yards. So their offense really was stifled throughout the whole game. They just had one really good drive that ended in a field goal, and I think the other one ended in a pick when they got inside our territory. But on the defensive end, JPP had 2 sacks. One of them was for a forced fumble. That was recovered by, I want to say that one was recovered technically by Shaq Barrett, and then he dropped it, and then Devin White got it. Barrett had 1 sack, which was a forced fumble as well, and I forgot who recovered that one. Winfield had 1 sack in the first drive of the game. That was a forced fumble, but they recovered, the Bears recovered. And then in terms of interceptions, D. Delaney had a pick, Pierre Desir had a pick, and Whitehead had a pick. So again, defensively, we definitely dominated all around on them. It seems like the first 3 games, who did we have? We had Dak shredded us for like 400 yards. Matt Ryan had, I think, almost 400. And then, Matthew Stafford did, and they were saying we were like on a historic pace. But since then, it's been literally on a decline in terms of people passing on us. I think Mac Jones didn't have that many yards. He had 200 something. And then who did we face after that? The Dolphins, and then Philly. So really no success there. This is a very good performance. I mean, Chicago historically, or at least in the last decade, seems to have our number, and it's good to see that we were able to put out a very good performance like that. It seems like the teams that we're supposed to beat, we're definitely dominating, even though we let them sometimes back in the game. The games are never really that close. So definitely beautiful on that end. I wish we could replicate this performance next week in New Orleans on Halloween against the Saints. It would be beautiful to get a 38-3 blowout just like they did to us last year and just dominate them. But they do have Jameis, who is a turnover machine, but also seems this year he's turning over the ball a little bit less than usual. But again, he has big play ability, and we're down corners. It looked like Jamel Dean left at the end. It looked like a shoulder or something. So we're really running out of corners. Hopefully he's back next week. I don't think SMB's coming back, or Carlton Davis, or Sherman. Maybe Sherman, I don't know. AB, I don't know how bad his ankle is. Gronk probably won't be back either. So we'll see what things look like. I think we should still have a good shot when we go in against New Orleans. But yeah, I really wish those 2 red zone opportunities, those 2 goal lines, we had an opportunity. It seemed like we were really trying to get Brady the 5th touchdown. The other thing that I really want to talk about that kind of just came to my mind is our inability to really understand flow of game. Like, we'll have a drive where we run it only, and we're getting 10-yard chunks at a time, and then once we get inside the 5, we switch to passing. I understand what they're trying to do with that, but if the run game is working, just milk it. Just go with the run game, because they clearly showed no ability to stop us. Because it seems like a lot of our drives that, when we're passing the ball really well, we end up having a drive where we're trying, like a sequence where we're just trying to run 3 times straight, and then we end up punting or kicking a field goal, and vice versa. If we're running really well, we just switch it to a pass, and it ends up not being effective. Especially those 2 on the goal line, where there's no reason that we shouldn't be able to get touchdowns from the pass game when we're inside the 5. And then the one Brady probably more than likely could have probably snuck it, but he audibled out. So definitely some opportunities for improvement there, but definitely not complaining at all. 6-1 on the season. Carolina lost. I think the Falcons won. They're way behind us. Carolina's now 3-4, I want to say, and I think the Saints play tonight against Seattle. So who knows how the division goes. The Saints are 3-2, so if they win, they're still a game behind us. If they lose, they're 2 games. But it seems like our lead is pretty comfortable overall. So yeah, we have Saints next week, and then I believe we do have a bye week the week after to hopefully get some of our players back. But Bucs Nation, let me know down below. Comment down below what you think about this game, and what were some things you liked and didn't like, and predictions for next week, because it's the Saints. We had a rough 3 games last year. Beat them, one of them, the one that counted the most, and now for sure with Jameis there, now he's a starter. He's going to want to get some revenge, and I'm sure they're going to want to get revenge against us. So yeah, let me know down below, and as always, let's go Bucs. Let's go Buc Nation. Wonderful performance, blowout early on, never felt stress. It was great to see. Now 6-1, first time in franchise history. Let's keep the ball rolling. And thank you as always, and I am out.